Let's talk about the games that are going to be played this weekend. NFL divisional round will start in the order that they are played. The Bills are playing the Broncos on Saturday. Broncos are -1.5, over under at 46.5. The first thing I want to say is the scheduling is so stupid. The fact that the Bills in the playoffs have to go on a short week across the country is insane to me. Like, the fact that they couldn't give the teams that played on Saturday, the teams that played on Saturday this past week, the Rams and the Bears that are moving on, the fact that they both get to play on Sunday instead of them having to just have a week, and it just makes no sense to me. So the Bills obviously have a short week, have to go across the country, are playing the number one seed. Bills have a top 5 offense in the league. Broncos have a top 5 defense. Bills are the number 1 rushing team in the NFL. Broncos have the number 2 rushing defense. The Jaguars had the number 1 rushing defense, and they contained the Bills very well. So we've seen as defenses, the top defense give trouble against the Bills rushing game, and I think that might happen again. Bills have the number 1 pass defense in the NFL and the 28th rush defense. The Broncos are not really like a big ground and pound team. RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins have split carries. J.K. Dobbins, I believe, is still out. RJ Harvey doesn't have like explosive numbers. So that'll be interesting to see how that dynamic is. Are the Broncos frauds? Are they legit? That's a question. And the reason I ask this is if you go through and just if you were paying attention to the Broncos this season, okay, even at one point on this podcast, I called them the Georgia Broncos or the Denver Bulldogs, like whatever, because it seemed like, if you don't remember, Georgia was coming back and winning all these games in wild ways in the fourth quarters. The Broncos were doing that a lot early. And you look at some of the scores this year, they played the Raiders twice, won 10-7, won 24-17, played the Chiefs, won 22-19, 20-13 without Mahomes, lost to the Jags, to beat the Jets 13-11, the Giants 33-32, and again, they had to come back by like 20 in the fourth quarter, Titans 20-12. So there's a lot of these teams that they didn't really dominate. And I remember the Commanders game that they let go to overtime and they won because the Commanders decided to go for 2 instead of tying it up in the overtime. So the Denver Broncos just have a big question mark to me, and they have the number 1 seed, and you win these games. We've been through this with Caleb and the Patriots. You win these games in the NFL. That's all fine and dandy. Doesn't mean like you are the number 1 team and the defense for the Broncos is legit. We know this. That has been the thing all year long, but it's Josh Allen. And everyone knows in the NFL you need to have a quarterback. And for the Broncos to be number 1 seed, welcoming in a Bills on a short week across the country, 1.5 point favorite, I kind of lean towards the Bills in this situation. What about you, Jake?
I 100% lean towards the Bills. Like I said on the last podcast, I kind of think this is the Bills' year. I think it's Josh Allen's year. I think they just beat a really, really, really good Jacksonville Jaguars team on the road in a close game, and I'll put a number. You were saying a lot of these Broncos games are decided by 1 possession. Well, I'll put a number to it. So they went 14-3 this year. 11 games, 11 out of 14 were decided by 1 possession. And that's all fair and good and dandy. Like, that's impressive. You won a lot of close games. I tell you, who you don't beat by 1 possession a lot of times is Josh Allen. You give him life in the fourth quarter. You give him an opportunity. 9 times out of 10, he's gonna be able to capitalize on that, as we saw on Sunday at 1:00 when he went down the field with 4 minutes left and broke my heart in Jacksonville. Another thing I definitely want to look at for the Bills is their receiver situation. They lost Gabe Davis, which I don't think Gabe Davis is like that big of a loss. He is a body. He's a guy who has that relationship with Josh Allen. So yes, it hurts, but I want to keep an eye on Dalton Kincaid. He is currently on the injury report. It looks he's questionable with a knee. I believe he'll be playing, but Dalton Kincaid scored a touchdown in Jacksonville. He's been one of the top targets all season. So keep an eye on him. And I just, it's hard for me not to pick the Bills here. I think Khalil Shakir should be able to be enough. James Cook should be enough. Dalton Kincaid should be enough. They have another tight end that's really good. I'm gonna rock with the Bills straight up here. I think they get a big win at Mile High.
I'm going to disagree. I just think that the receiver situation is so daunting. Pat Surtain is going to have the task of covering Khalil Shakir. It's going to be his easiest assignment he's had all season. No offense to Khalil. No offense. But, like, he's not going to have to go waste his time on Keon Coleman. He's not going to have to go waste his time on Dawson Knox or Kincaid. Like, those are going to be handled by the linebackers and safety. So you might as well go ahead and bet your bottom dollar that they're not going to have any explosives from the outside receiver position, I think. They're going to have to motion them in and scheme it up and change the cover stuff in order to get that avenue of their offense open. I just think that the Bills are going to struggle here. Josh Allen may get a little overwhelmed in a road game. Once again, like, he handled the business down there in Duval, and Duval kind of gave it to him towards the end in terms of the interception, kind of like to seal the deal. And this defense is really, really good. Like, they're better than the Jags defense. No offense, Duval. But the Broncos
I
are
think they're the
the
best
number
defense
one.
in football.
Yeah, they're the number one unit in the league, I think. It's either them or the Seattle Seahawks. So to think that Josh Allen is just going to be able to run all over this place, and I mean, Nick Manito and the guys over there are going to have something to say about that. I think they're going to be able to cover him up a little bit. I look for the Broncos to win unconvincingly, like what you guys are talking about. It'll be another one possessioner. Bo Nix will probably have 40 attempts for 230 yards. That's kind of his par for the course. But listen, if they don't turn the ball over and they force more turnovers than another team, they usually win. I think they got to follow that formula.
I just don't know if I can trust Bo Nix. Like I just,
Difference is, though, like, you're not gonna have to, I think.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna hand it off to RJ Harvey and let him game manage. Like, go back to Miami A&M 10-3. Like, that's the kinda game script that they, and I know it's college football, it's way different, but those damn games in the college football are played on the same time frame and the same length of a field as NFL games. I know they're different athletes, but, like, in terms of the style of the game, I think that's what Denver needs to run the hell out of the football and stuff Buffalo and force Josh Allen to make bad decisions.
Yeah, I do. I do love looking at like common opponents, and we can talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars again. The Bills just went to Jacksonville and were able to beat them on their home turf just a
Yep.
couple weeks ago, less than a month ago. The Jags
Destruction.
went 2 Mile High, and the final score is 34-20. That game was never in question, the entire game. And the Jags made that daunting defense, which I'm not saying is a lie. It is a very good defense. They made him look pedestrian. They made
Yeah.
Bo Nix look pedestrian. They were able to contain RJ Harvey. And I don't know. I'm definitely biased because I want to see the Bills at this point. I want to see them win it.
Bills-Pats AFC Championship game would go crazy.
It would. It would. Will be interesting to see. Obviously, like I mentioned, Denver has one of the best defenses. I believe they have like 68 sacks on the year, almost close to 6-7. But we'll see. Again, I think that line, it might be telling you something, but maybe the odds just love Josh Allen a little too much. We'll find out on Saturday. It's a CBS game. A lot of people are hating on Tony Romo the other day, so we'll see if
What's
he
the
can
deal?
redeem himself. They just said he was doing very bad at his job on Sunday, which I don't really grade people that hard on the commentary. I don't really think about past it, but he was getting some bad reps. Some people are saying JJ Watt and Ian Eagle might be taking over the top spot on CBS soon. So just some commentator drama for you. Okay. Saturday night, 49ers at the Seahawks. Seahawks are -7. Over under is 45.5. Who do the 49ers have playing at this point? Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall, question mark, might play. Juwan Jennings, and Trent Williams is limited in practice this week. So those are all what
Demarcus Robinson.
is he hurt?
Now I think he's playing.
They got Demarcus Robinson. Can't forget Florida legend, a Peach County legend, of course. But yeah, I mean, meanwhile, the Seahawks are off a bye, and the last game they played, they held the 49ers to 3 points just 2 weeks ago. And it wasn't like, a month ago. This was 2 weeks ago. They haven't lost since November. That is the Seahawks. The best scoring defense in the league is going against the 5 people I listed that they have to play with on offense. No George Kittle. They obviously haven't had Ayuk all year. Like, they are banged up. Purdy hasn't been healthy all year. It's just going to be hard to look past that. Now, Christian McCaffrey is playing, but he's only had 92 yards rushing against Seahawks in 2 games this season. That's not a recipe for success. I will say this. If you're a 49ers fan, you're looking for the hope. Sam Darnold this year against the 49ers, only 348 yards, no touchdowns. So he has not diced you up at all. It has been the defense that has given you problems. You've got to find a way to score. Maybe your defense finds a way to score, and that's going to be the way of the game. It's total 49ers have to find the ways to win special teams, time of possession, turnover battle, like that. Those are the ways that some things got to get tricky in this game for the 49ers to come out with a win. This is the first playoff game in Seattle since 2017. So they haven't had a playoff game there in a long time. Last time they played this game in Seattle in the playoffs, Richard Sherman had the sorry receiver like Crabtree. These guys did play a couple years ago in San Francisco in the playoffs. People in the comment section will tell you that. But I think it's really just hard to look past all the stuff we see for the 49ers and how depleted they are. And yes, it got past the Eagles, but is anybody raving about how good the Eagles are? No, that has not been a thing. Look for Jack Smith and Jigba. They have a breakout game this week. He's first time. I think first time he's going to be in the playoffs. So I'm expecting him to put up some big numbers. He's had a great season. 7, whatever. I don't, last week I got on my high horse saying the Rams were going to cover that 10.5. So, these numbers are big, but it's really hard. Seahawks are fresh. They know how to beat the 49ers. So I think the Seahawks are going to win. It's hard. If 49ers win, though, it feels like it's going to get to the point where they'll get to the NFC Championship, but they'll get smoked. Like, there's no way they can get past. Like, this is the furthest they can go, it seems.
Well, I feel like if they're able to muster up a win against Seattle, then I feel like they have a shot. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't see it happening because of all the injuries. It's just really caught up to him. And it's just, you're matching up against Seattle, who we're just talking about Denver's defense. Well, if there's a number 2, it's Seattle. The defense is ridiculous. Their secondary is ridiculous. They have a great pass rush, and they have a very good offense as well. The recipe for success for the 49ers in this game is you're going to have to look at the box score at the end of the game, and Christian McCaffrey's going to have 200-plus yards, and he's going to need to get into the end zone, I'd say, twice at minimum. At the very minimum, he's going to have to score twice and get at least 200 yards. One thing I will say in San Francisco's favor is Sam Darnold has not looked as great as we'd like to see down the stretch specifically. I mean, I remember I saw them play in Atlanta late in the season, and the first half was pretty tight. They really turned it on in the second half. But that first half was like, oh, okay, this offense is kind of whatever. And then the last time we saw him play against San Francisco, Sam Darnold was kind of self-sabotaging for a little bit until the defense just took the game into their own hands and said, okay, we're only going to allow 3 points. We just need you to get more than 3, we'll win. So if Sam Darnold has an unfortunate game like we saw last year in the playoffs against the Rams, and if Christian McCaffrey can go off and make some crazy plays, then I see the possibility there maybe for an upset. But if I have to make a pick, I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks. With that said, this is a divisional game. This is their third matchup of the season. These teams know each other. I'm going to take the Niners plus the points. I'm going to say that they can keep it within a touchdown. I wish it was at 7.5. If I could get the hook, that would make it even more enticing. But I don't have it, but I'm still going to take the +7. But I don't anticipate the Niners being able to have enough to pull it out.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm sitting here staring at the injury report here. 49ers do have a shocking name on here that was a limited participant in practice today. His name's Fred Warner. Didn't know that he had a shot to come back this week, but he does. That would be a big boost, but I think the help they're going to need is on offense, to be honest with you. I think that what you guys analysis you laid out is the truth. The San Francisco 49ers with, the help of Trent Williams kind of in question. We already know the usage rate of McCaffrey, what his production's done in the season. Now, they do have Brock Purdy going for them, but we said that as well before he went out and scored 3 points against the Seahawks last time we saw him. So interesting. Yeah, it's been shaky the last couple of weeks, but Sam Darnold's not any slight of he's not too far ahead of him in terms of who's been playing the best right now here at the tail end of the season. I just think that the Seahawks got a home game here. 12th man is no joke. Yes, the 49ers are used to playing in this spot in that stadium. They're familiar with who they got, but I just believe that it is Seattle written all over this thing. And can I be honest with y'all? I think this is the NFC Championship game. I think if the 49ers do beat them, they're going to go to the Super Bowl and limp in to play whoever AFC team they do.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I don't agree with that at all.
Far. Yeah.
Rams are on the other side.
Okay, well, we're going to get to that game in a second, but I don't think I'm going to predict that game like you think I did.
Oh, okay. Interesting. We'll see. Game's on Fox. Tom Brady game. All right. Sunday, 3:00. Texans are going to New England to play the Patriots. Patriots are -3. Over-under is at 40.5. You guys keep talking about the Seahawks defense and the Broncos defense. Are we forgetting about the Texans? Are we forgetting about the real best defense in the NFL? Caleb, are you nervous that the Patriots are giving up 3 sacks a game and have a shaky offensive line, and they're going to go against this Texans swarming off defensive line? Does that make you a little nervous?
No, because we did it last week. I mean, the Chargers are a formidable front as well, and to be honest with you, Drake May's been getting lit up all season, so he's got the best QBR under pressure in the league. So no, it doesn't scare me.
Okay. Texans second In defense, they are second in points, first in total yards given up. Patriots are going to need to have another defensive performance like they did against the Chargers on Sunday night to win this game, it feels like, because the Texans are obviously going to suffocate. The Patriots offense showed the other night that they will struggle. They will struggle to move the ball. So the Patriots defense, with the Texans not having Nico Collins, with Christian Kirk being a little shaky, we've talked about C.J. Stroud and how the turnovers they were having on Monday night. Like, the Texans are going to be coming off a short week. The Patriots are going to have to get it going defensively and cause havoc for C.J. Stroud, which I think they can. It's just when you have a defense like the Texans that is just so disruptive and causes so many turnovers and can score touchdowns, it gives me caution. The Texans are like one of the hottest teams in football. I mean, they've won, 9 games in a row, 10 games in a row. Special teams, I think, is going to be a big factor in this play, or in this game. Got to make the field goals, got to make the extra points, got to get the punts off, got to win field possession. So this one's going to be a close one, but I'm going to go with the Texans. Texans are just too hot right now. They're just too hot right now, and I think the defense is going to make some plays. The Patriots, we've been saying it all year, they're just the schedules, and they haven't got to play the Texans this year, and I think it's going to bite them.
You just saw 6 turnovers out of the quarterback for the Texans the other night, and you think he's going to beat Drake May, the MVP?
The MVP is Matthew Stafford, first of all. And second of all, the Patriots defense I saw Drake May miss a lot of throws the other night, and the Patriots defense won him a game, and the special teams unit, which, again, special teams is going to have to win, defense is going to have to win. But I think I give that advantage to the Texans in both of those categories. So
Okay. Yeah, I listen, I think the Texans are going to be a really tough out. I think they have a great defense. I think they've shown it's like 3 straight years where they've won a playoff game. Three straight years. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but those are all 3 games for wild cards. They haven't won a divisional yet. They have not gotten to the AFC Championship game, and I don't think that's changing. I listen, I've been hard on the Patriots all year. I'll be hard on the Texans. I think outside of their defense, I don't think they have much. I don't. And people love to jump on C.J. Stroud and say he's the chosen one and all this. C.J. Stroud's not good to me. He has terrible footwork. He's inaccurate with the ball. He doesn't really have the receivers, especially if Nico Collins is banged up. No, Christian Kirk, he was good in Jacksonville 3 years ago. He's not that same guy. Yes, he had a good game this Saturday, but this is the Patriots we're talking about. The Patriots don't have a slouch defense. They're formidable on their side as well. I mean, they're not the Texans, but they can play defense on that side. And I think at the end of the day, Drake May is going to be able to settle down. Yes, he looked shaky last week against the Chargers, but I think he's going to be able to settle in. And you also have to remember Mike Vrabel on that side. He has a lot of playoff experience. He has a lot of experience playing against the Texans. When he was in Tennessee, I don't know if a single player or coach is still there from when he was in Tennessee, but he's seen that logo a lot, if that counts for anything. I'm going to go with the Patriots, and I'm going to go with the Patriots -3 to be able to move on.
Appreciate you, Jake. I think they did bump into each other. And Vrabel's last year in Tennessee was maybe D'Amico's first year in Houston, because he's been there for like 3 or 4 years now. So there is some familiarity there for sure. Listen, I could understand what the counter points would be to New England winning, and Garrison raised them all. I mean, the offense was shaky last week. The defense has got to raise its head up a little bit and bow its shoulders out a little bit in order to kind of keep this game tamped down. You're facing a really good defense with a good pass rush that's got Stingley as a corner. Let me be clear about something. Stingley has given up the 5th most passing yards this year out of all corners in man coverage. Okay, so there's one. I don't expect him to be successful doing that, and that is one of the most common coverages that the Houston Texans play. Okay, Drake May started off rough in that game the other night. All right, but he was 11-14 in the second half against the 5th best defense in the NFL after getting still under pressure for about 50% of his snaps in the second half. No turnovers, okay, in the second half. That was something that kind of marred him in the first half. And I just go back, and whenever you guys, it is funny enough, this is amazing being in the seat that I'm in, but when you guys doubt the Patriots, I think about Drake May on like 3rd and 16 the other day, just first down.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 times. So when you think everything's down and out for New England, like it never is, and the defense is playing as well as it has all season long, I think you're going to get Christian Gonzalez back this week. It seems like he's going to clear the concussion protocol and all that stuff. And again, Houston doesn't have their best receiver, and their offense is already a little bit abysmal. I mean, I'm sitting here watching the game the other night, and I'm saying C.J. Stroud sucks. I don't know what happened, but I mean, it just looks brutal. I got nothing but utmost confidence in my group this week, my team. I think that they're going to be able to show up. That I mean, they're Big dogs are showing up last week. Milton Williams making huge plays. I think they're going to be able to cover him up in the back end a little bit. Force turnover too. Get Ramondre Stevenson and Travion involved in the offense. I know we've been a lot heavier on Ramondre here recent. I just would like to see a little bit of balance there, and also let's let Drake May cook, because the Houston Texans defense has been talked about a bunch, but pressure doesn't matter if you get the damn ball out. Fun fact. And I think they'll be able to get it out on time.
It's a fun fact. It's interesting. The Patriots get to play like these two abysmal offenses, so you really don't know how the pressure moments yet. Will we see that when they play Buffalo next week? Hopefully,
That's all right. I mean, if the Jacksonville Jaguars stood on 10 toes last week, it would be them coming to England this week, but it didn't happen.
Just for the podcast too. I wish
Oh,
we
that'd
had a
been so
matchup. It would be awesome. It really would.
Can I tell you this, though? I'd have been much more scared of that team than the Texans. I did say 2 weeks ago that the Texans were the team that scared me the most, but now that I've seen them on offense a couple times, I'm not too terribly worried about that one. Not too terribly worried. And you want to talk about the hottest team in football, G? Texans 9 straight, whatever. New England's lost one game since the beginning of October, and it was to the Bills, who they had already beaten.
but they haven't won 9 or 10 in a row.
We won 9 in a row at one point this year.
10 right? Or was that
Maybe.
the Bears?
6 or 7.
6 or
Oh, let's go Caleb with the 6-7. Man, who had that on their bingo card?
Oh, man. All right. Last game, Sunday night. Rams are playing the Bears in Chicago. Right now, the Rams are -4, over-unders at 48.5. Both coming off electric games on Saturday, right? The Rams played the Panthers down to the wire. We know what the Bears and Packers did. Both seem like, in my opinion, these seem like the best teams to root for the rest of the way in the playoffs. Like, these seem like the most likable teams, the most likable coaches in my eyes. Awesome young coaches they both have. Only one of these teams, though, has a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and that's the Rams and Matthew Stafford. Fun fact, these guys have not played in the playoffs since the 80s. 1986, last time the Rams and the Bears faced off in the postseason. I worry about the Bears being able to stop the Rams because the Bears do have a bottom 5 defense in the National Football League. Will the weather be a factor? I don't have it pulled in front of me, but it's Chicago. It's going to be cold. Might be raining.
18 degrees.
It's like wind chill of like 0.
Will that be a factor? I think the status at Matthew Stafford is like 1 in 15 or something in outdoor, or maybe it's not him. Maybe it's indoor. I can't remember, but it just feels like the Bears' luck. I'm going to call it luck. There's grit. Okay. I feel like the Bears' luck is going to run out. I just think the Rams are a better team. I think the Rams have the MVP in Matthew Stafford. I think their offense, when it needs to score, is going to score. I don't think we're going to be in a situation where if the Rams are winning by 2 scores, that they're going to stall out. I just don't see that. And I also don't see a situation where if the Rams go down, they're not going to be able to respond. I don't find that plausible. I'm still rooting for the Rams. I still think the Rams are the best team, and they're going on the road, and they're a 4-point favorite in the playoffs. I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, so this is one I've been going back and forth on. A lot of me wants to take the Bears and rock with Ben Johnson, rock with Caleb Williams again, because I really do like that pairing. I like DeAndre Swift. I love Colston Loveland. I like DJ Moore. There's a lot about the Bears that I do like. It's hard for me to imagine them winning this game, if I'm being completely honest, mostly because of that defense that you're talking about that has been kind of getting shredded the entire year. I see, like you said, the MVP, the most valuable player, Matthew Stafford, being able to make plays. I see Puka. I'm sure he's been beating himself up this week for having those drops, especially that one that should have been a touchdown for the half. Devontae Adams is, each week we get along here. I mean, don't forget, Devontae Adams was a little banged up at the end of the year. So we're going to most likely see a more healthy Devontae Adams this week. Kyron Williams to be able to run. I see the Rams being able to win this one. I think they're going to cover the 3.5. I think they probably win by a touchdown. Shout out to my mom. I don't know if y'all know this, but she's just kind of decided she's an LA Rams fan now because she loves Matthew Stafford and Kelly Stafford. I think she thinks she's best friends with Kelly Stafford on Instagram. But I'm going to rock with the Rams.
Shout out Christy.
I'm going to start mine with a moment of silence for my Super Bowl take. I'm knocking both teams out. I'm taking the Bears. In the last decade, stat for you, teams that play in a dome in a playoff game in sub-freezing temperatures are 0-for. These boys are LA boys. They ain't ready for that 10-degree and 30-mile-an-hour winds. I just think that, the Rams are going to have to go in there and run the football in order to decide this thing. And yes, Matthew Stafford's Matthew Stafford. His name don't change whether it's 100 degrees outside or 0. I understand that. The play does, though. He's older. Okay. Let's not discount that at all. It makes a difference. And when you're not used to playing in that weather, it's going to be an issue. Now, I read today on the flip side, the Bears have been practicing outside in the cold damn near all year. And Ben Johnson told the players to suck it up whenever they were bitching about it in like week 10 and week 11 because they wanted to go indoors or turn the heaters on. He said, no, this is going to help you later. You're going to thank me later. And here we are. So these guys are tuned and conditioned and playing into that bullshit that they're going to have to go into in a couple nights. The Rams, you can't practice for that in LA. You would have to go sit in the cooler of the In-N-Out in order to get a practice session, and that's that cold.
In-N-Out sucks, dude. I just needed to say that. In-N-Out sucks.
Never had it, so I wouldn't know. But
don't eat it. The burger's okay. The burger's okay, and it's relatively cheap, but they have no effort in their fries. Absolutely none. Just wanted to say that.
So that being said, I just think that the Chicago Bears got a little bit of magic. I know teams that come back and major comebacks in the playoffs, and their next game is usually a letdown. I just think that there's something to this guy named Ben Johnson. I'm going to be honest. I feel like he is, dare I say, next in that kind of category of like, I'm that dog. Yeah, I'm that guy in Paris. That's what I think he's getting to. Okay. I mean, he's in the McVay area. He's in the McFleur area. LaFleur area. He's in the, dare I say, Mike Vrabel area. He's in the Shanahan area. Like, it's going to get there really quickly because this Bears team was a joke. And they're sitting here, they're about to beat the Los Angeles Rams if I think it goes how I want to go the NFC title game a year after being the laughingstock of the NFC North, the hardest division in football. So we thought.
Well, they did have all the teams, every team in the NFC North did finish with a winning record. So just a little tidbit for you. But Matt Stafford went into Philly last year and, I mean, damn near took the Rams to the NFC Championship. I mean,
But he didn't.
He was there, though. Like, he
was there.
He was literally right there. So
I think this game's going to be a tad bit colder than Philly was last year. I know it was snowing in Philly or whatever at the end of the game, but like this is like polar plunge level cold. This is going to be near breaking records cold up there for them, and the wind situation too. It's not going to be easy to throw the ball.